So then, a gentle start for the sidecar warm-up lap. Off on their warm-up now. We look for, there they are, Webster, Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons looking to win the World Championship here today. Sidecar 3, the Silkaline sponsored sidecar. Number 1 there is Elaine Michelle and Simon Birchall, current world champion. Bieland in the last few Grand Prix has been the fastest man, but Webster is looking to consolidate his championship lead and take the championship today, regain the championship we should say. Last year finishing 3rd. Webster's first Grand Prix was the British in 1983 and his first Grand Prix win was the Belgian in 1986. So quite a long and distinguished career, but nowhere near as long as Rolf Bieland, pole sitter today. Rolf Bieland and Kirk Wildisberg. Bieland has won 56 Grand Prix plus 3, that's 59 Grand Prix in his career, and probably could have won a lot more if he hadn't been so keen on technical innovation, which we all know he's so good at. Well, there we have it again. Confirmation of points gained so far this year. Webster tops the table, and ever faster Rolf Bieland catching up on points with 148. But really and truly, all Webster has to do today is have a nice, consistent drive, ably assisted, of course, by his passenger, Gavin Simmons. 23 there. That's the pairing of Costa and Egli. Lap times around this Bugatti circuit, 4.4 kilometre circuit, 147.3 is the pole sitter's time, which is not hanging around. This circuit's been modified over the last couple of years just to slow a couple of the faster parts down as they come round to rejoin the grid. On the front row then, we have Bieland in pole position, Elaine Michelle and Simon Birchall, middle of the grid, and to their side is Webster and Simmons completing the grid lineup. On the second row of the grid we have the Goodall brothers, and of course Stroyer and Brown sorting out the second row of the grid. We wait for the course car to give the signal the track has been cleared behind them. Steve Abbott and Sean Smith down in 11th place on the grid. Not a happy practice for them. Their qualification time not up to the standard we've come to expect from those men. Egbert Stroyer and Peter Essaf, American passenger on the Dutch crew. So then, the red flag is moved off the track, watch the lights. And green, and they're away now as the passengers push like mad, and it's Bieland straight into an early lead with Elaine Michelle tucking in behind him, and it looks like Webster just about going to slot in for 3rd place, but it's for Bieland. Rolf Bieland goes into the chicane for the first time first. Elaine Michelle number 1 there in 2nd place on the ELF LCR. In 3rd place 3 is Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. 8 is the Egloff brothers in 4th place and looking for the inside line on Steve Webster, but Webster's having nothing of it. No argy-bargy from those people. Mattis and Urs Egloff looking for Webster's position, but they're not going to get it. 19 was Klaffenbach. Klaffenbach and Parza, but no trouble for this man. From his pole position time, he is in front. Passenger gets over the rear wheel to make sure they get enough traction there. Webster still 3rd. Klaffenbach now moves through to 4th. The Dixons there move through. So, Rolf Bieland leads. Elaine Michelle 2nd. Webster 3rd. Klaffenbach 4th. And they are jockeying for position, streaming through after the first lap. Webster knows that all he has to do is gain a few points. His worst 2 rounds he will drop, of course, from the championship. But that doesn't matter because he's had 2 non-finishes. So whatever he gains today will add to his points tally. Likewise, Rolf Bieland. All he has to do is win the race and hope that Webster breaks down. It's all on today's race. So Bieland stretching his lead on the second lap. Absolutely amazing. Elaine Michelle and Simon Birchall in second place in outfit number 1. And third place is still Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. Well, Bieland of Waldisberg won the Czech Grand Prix, the last Grand Prix of the series, in fine style from Stroyer, who this week is apparently suffering from tyre problems. He's on Yokohamas, most of the other crews are on Avons. Webster and Simmons finished third in the Czechoslovakian. So at the moment, it would seem that Bieland really has found form for both himself and his outfit. What a distinguished career Rolf Bieland has had. His first GP was in the Austrian, 1974. His first win was in the German of 1975. Pole positions this year at the Italian and the British Grand Prix. Fastest lap at the French and the San Marino Grand Prix. Rolf Bieland then, 59 times a Grand Prix winner. About to make it around 60 if he carries on the way he is at the moment. Number 4, Bieland leads. That's Elaine Michelle, the Frenchman from Montélimar, passenger by the Brit, Simon Birchall. Doing a superb job. They're not letting Bieland get away, that is for sure. So Elaine Michelle not going to concede a race win quite that easily, I think. Elaine Michelle's first GP was the French in 1976. That was here at Le Mans. His first win was the French in 1977. That was at Paul Ricard in the south of France. Pole position this year in the US Grand Prix and the Spanish Grand Prix, and the fastest lap also in the US Grand Prix. 18 career wins for this man so far. And he looks as if he is not going to let Bieland stop him from making this his 19th. Elaine Michelle then on a charge in second place, and there is confirmation. Fastest lap from Elaine Michelle. Not a million miles away from his second part on the grid time. So it's still Rolf Bieland and Kurt Waldisberg. While we get a bit of a slow-mo, well, that's 25 about to pull off there. He's in big trouble. That's Baker and Pryor, the British crew. Very gentlemanly indeed. Pull off across the grass, out of the way. But no trouble for these two crews. Webster then still in third, Klaffenbach fourth. 5 outfit, that's the Goodall brothers. Number 9, that is Kamano and Russinger. But they're going to have to go some to challenge the leading two crews, I should say. So that is Elaine Michelle and Simon Birchall chasing Rolf Bieland and Kurt Waldisberg for that first place. So as they come onto the start and finish straight, Bieland trying to extend his race lead. All he can do is win the race. He can do no more than that. But as long as Webster stays where he is, Webster will become world champion. Webster currently in third place. Through the chicane, over the hill. Now Bieland puts in the fastest lap. Well, whatever you can do, I can do better, says Rolf Bieland, and proves it by putting in a fastest lap on lap 3. Now captions coming up just a fraction slower than they might, but Bieland, the fastest man on the track at this time. Well, it's a striking looking outfit. Bieland's outfits are always different from everybody else's. ADM are the people who make Krauser motors, but in this particular case, they run under their own name, the ADM engine in the LCR, Louis Christian Racing outfit, as are most of these bikes, there's no doubting that. The passenger tucked well down, out of the slipstream, out of the wind, hangs out over the wheel to keep it on the ground, and then over the back wheel, which is the driving wheel, to make sure they get the maximum amount of traction on this track. Well, certainly Alain Michel is a man that's on the charge. Sideways on there, passengers struggling to get across against the G-forces, using all of the track and a bit more. Alain Michel, number one, chasing Rolf Bieland and gaining on Rolf Bieland. So Bieland is not going to get it all his own way. Race leader then, Rolf Bieland, just a second and a half in front of Alain Michel in second place, and some 6 or 7 seconds now behind him is third place man Steve Webster with passenger Gavin Simmons, and they are coming under pressure of the extreme nature. From it looked to me there, like Bornhorst and Hiller, so Alain Michel putting in the fastest lap now, and that's evident from how much closer he is to Bieland on the track. The difference you can see. Bieland will be keeping an eye on what's going on. His pit crew will be giving him all the signals he needs. He can do no more than win this race, and that's really what he's got to do to keep his hopes alive at all, and keep his fingers crossed at the same time that Webster has the disaster of all disasters and doesn't finish. Well, of course, Webster will be mindful of when Bieland was leading in 1988 the championship and broke down with a broken motor, and Webster was able, Webster was able to take the lead from Bieland and win the championship. Well, title roles could be reversed if Webster was as equally unlucky, but somehow I just don't think so. Webster then, number 3. Webster, in contrast to Rolf Bieland, not a man that experiments too much with his equipment, likes to keep it reasonably standard, and that has paid great dividends in reliability and won him world championships. 5. The Goodall brothers are hanging in there behind Webster, putting him under all sorts of pressure, but it's not pressure that's a major problem. All he really has to do is add to his points tally to pick up the World Championship for sidecars, 1991 style. Bornhorst and Hiller, I should say Klaffenbach rather, coming through there in 5th place. Klaffenbach and Parzer on the LCR, Shoe, Motorrad, Zubauer outfit. Webster in 3rd place. Well, one thing's for sure, he must have white knuckles and sticky palms over the prospect of winning this World Championship this year. Simmons there hanging on to hold the sidecar wheel on the ground. The Goodalls are all over the rear of the outfit. Well, while these two battle it all out, we're going to take a short break on Eurosport. Come back to us in just a few moments. Rolf Bieland then still leads the Le Mans Grand Prix from Alain Michel, who's looking for the inside line. Alain Michel and Simon Birchall challenging Rolf Bieland for the race lead. Superb stuff from the Frenchman here. Well, of course, we've seen it all before with these two outfits and these two men driving. The Swiss, Bieland, just having the advantage and the upper hand at this point in time, but certainly his bike doesn't look as if it's going any better than the Frenchman's as they complete yet another lap. So 4, Bieland still leads from number 1, Alain Michel and Simon Birchall in the chair. In 3rd place is still Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. Well, it must be tense for 3rd place man Webster and Simmons. They know what they've got to do. Equally, this man, number 4, Rolf Bieland, he knows exactly what he's got to do, win this race and hope some luck comes his way. And Alain Michel looks for the inside line and grabs 1st place. Well, Alain Michel was not going to mess around. He looked at that line the last couple of laps. He put himself in a position. You see the tyres smoking away there as they struggle for grip out of that first gear turn. Here it is again, down the hill, into the right-hand hairpin, off the start and finish straight as it is, or it was. Alain Michel, a perfect line there on the brakes. Wieland could do nothing except watch the Frenchman go through. So, Alain Michel now leads the Le Mans Grand Prix. Well, that, of course, is extremely popular. Wieland now looks to the inside of Alain Michel, looking to jockey himself into a position where he can take advantage of Alain Michel's weak spots. This race scheduled for 21 laps. I've lost count of where we are. I'll check on my lap board in a moment. But Alain Michel leads from Rolf Wieland, from Steve Webster, from the Gödel brothers in 4th place, from Klaffenbach in 5th place. That is the order at this time. On to the start and finish straight. Alain Michel, that'll get the crowd waving. Alain Michel has a personal look over his shoulder to see where Wieland is, and Wieland looks extremely close. Wieland looks like he's going to try and make a pass into the chicane. Looks for the inside line, but no, Alain Michel's got it covered as they round the flat-out 6th gear right-hander at something like 155 miles an hour on the sidecars. Wieland looks for the inside line now and he's going to do Alain Michel. Oh, dear me. Alain Michel is having nothing of this Swiss driver's impetuosity at all. He is just blocking the way. So Alain Michel, brilliant driving from him, but will he be able to hold off Wieland? Wieland looks extremely determined. Michel currently 4th in the World Championship standings at this point, so he needs the points, but probably not as much as Wieland needs them if we're talking series wins here. The World Championship really hangs onto whether Wieland can win this and Webster finishes low enough down to affect his World Championship standing. I don't think that's likely to be the case at the moment. Webster looks fairly relaxed in 3rd place, even though he's under extreme pressure from the Gödel brothers. Well, the action's at the front here. Oh, that's a good shot there of Alain Michel, really squirting the power on between those 2 turns, getting everything out of the bike. But this is where it counts. Get the drive onto the start and finish straight, and you may well have an advantage by the time you get to the end of it and you need the brakes. And certainly it looks this time like Wieland has made that break. Certainly looks like Wieland got the drive and he sweeps through on the inside, shifting through into top gear, through the turn, and now back down 3 gears into the chicane, over the hill. And can Alain Michel, no, he's not close enough, I was going to say, can Alain Michel get up the inside on the brakes as he has done before? So Rolf Wieland then is back in the lead of this Grand Prix. Tyres smoking, trying to get as much grip as they can. Even with the weight of the passenger on there, they can't get enough traction out of these bikes. Wieland leads. Alain Michel and Simon Birchall are 2nd. Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons are 3rd. The Gödel brothers, that's Charlie and Paul Gödel, are in 4th place currently. But all the swapping and action is at the front here for the race win. Passengers hiding behind the fairing of the bike. Apparently earlier on in the year, Wieland's radical design of streamlining and fairing, you can see there it's quite a different shape from everything else, was giving the bike too much downforce, which was slowing them down in the straights. Since then they made some minor modifications and Wieland's just not looked back since then and has absolutely gone great guns. Well, of course, an impeccable record from Wieland. He's won the last 4 Grand Prix that he's finished in. He didn't finish in the San Marino Grand Prix. There's 3 Grand Prix to go, but Webster, the man leading the championship at the moment, has never finished out of the first 3 except when he's broken down, and that's only been twice. And that kind of consistency really is championship winning form, and Bieland has got to do a lot to contend with that. There's the gap between Bieland and Michel. Well, perhaps not that wide a gap on the screen. Bieland now piling the coals on. Bieland pulling away from second place man Alain Michel. And Bieland here today, certainly in a class of his own. The weather certainly not as hot as the French Grand Prix at Le Mans last year. 40 degrees centigrade then. Much, much cooler than that this year. The racing has been much better throughout all the classes here. Sidecar racing is perhaps a little bit more strung out than it should have been, but these two are fighting tooth and nail for that race lead over the 21-lap race. Well, if things stay the way they are, Bieland is not going to sneak the World Championship from Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons, because Webster in that comfortable 3rd place, relatively comfortable, if you can discount the Goodles breathing down their neck. Webster will win the World Series. So 11 laps left to go. Quite a long way to go, and Bieland now stretching his lead, his race advantage increasing bend by bend, yard by yard. You can see there, second place man Alain Michel has a mile lead over 3rd place man Steve Webster. But I think really the action has got to focus on 3rd, 4th and 5th place. What's going on there is important, probably more important than it is here at the front, because Webster can control what happens in the World Championship for sidecars this year by where he is and his machine reliability. Webster said before the round that if Rolf Bieland was in the race, anywhere in the race, then Webster had got to go for the finish. There we have outfit 7. That's Kumagaya and Houghton. Brian Houghton, the passenger, another British passenger looking after the Japanese drivers. Virtues coming under extreme pressure there from 21. That's Bosinger and Hoos. Well, there's action all down the field at the moment. Kumagaya never won a Grand Prix. 6th in San Marino, 2nd in Czechoslovakia, 6th in the British. 17 there, that's the Dixons, and what's happened there? Trouble indeed. 19, Klaffenbach. 12, that's Bornhorst and Hiller. Well, Bornhorst and Hiller, they had a superb German Grand Prix earlier on in the year. Since then, perhaps not quite so good fortunes. Won a 2nd Grand Prix. Put the fastest lap in the German as well as winning the race. Abbott and Smith qualified quite badly by their standards. Klaffenbach, 19. Qualified in 6th place. Currently 5th. Webster in 3rd, Goodle in 4th. This man, Klaffenbach, 5th. 6th is the Abbott and Smith outfit. Well, that's a big improvement over their qualification times. And certainly they're not finishing their charge just yet. Right on the tail of Klaffenbach in 5th place. Down the hill to the right-hander at the end. 12 there, Bornhorst and Hiller bringing up the rear in 7th place. Well, Steve Abbott and Sean Smith, the Appleby Glade runners from Nottingham. First Grand Prix was the British in 1980. The first rostrum was the US in 1990. And they currently are in 6th place. And on to the start and finish straight. Behind Klaffenbach, outfit 19. But 12, Bornhorst and Hiller certainly looking for the move here while we go for a replay with Klaffenbach. Sideways on there, on the brakes in. Well, my usual co-commentator, Julian Ryder, would call that a shimmy. Julian not with me for this particular sidecar Grand Prix. Oh, and that was Egbert Stroyer, number 2 there at the rear of this group. Egbert Stroyer struggling with a loose tyre situation. His Yokohama's not sticking to the Le Mans track quite as well as he would like. Stroyer qualified in 5th place, but he's way down at the moment in 8th. So, and Abbott and Smith look for the pass, go for the inside and force their way through. No, well, that was a spirited effort at Museum. Museum Bend, almost the place where Abbott and Smith gained 5th place from this man, Klaffenbach. But he was having none of it whatsoever. Well, this little gaggle of fighting outfits certainly are all after that 5th place, and every one of these men look capable of getting it. Abbott and Smith on the outside, but we have a right-hander here at the bottom of the hill. Oh, well, I was lost on the track there. Abbott and Smith went for the inside. Of course, it was a left-hander. That'll keep you at home amused. The commentary position doesn't know his left from his right handers. Abbott and Smith absolutely sideways on through the S's. So, in 5th place, the Appleby Glade outfit with Steve Abbott and Sean Smith. On to the start and finish straight. Past the pits, their board will be out of date. Pit crew jumping up and down. 5th place then. Sideways on, drifting through the turn. Absolutely brilliant control there. Well, Steve Abbott certainly had hold of that one, didn't he? There's Egbert Stroyer at the back of the group still. Meanwhile, in 5th place, outfit 6, Steve Abbott and Sean Smith. Remember, at the front of the field at the moment is Rolf Bieland, outfit 4, miles in front of Elaine Michel, outfit 1, in 2nd place with Simon Burchell in the chair. 3rd place man presently is Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons, hanging on to their World Championship. If they can stay where they are, they will win the 1991 Sidecar World Championship. 4th place is the Goodall brothers, 5th place currently. As I look down for more confirmation of where we are, 5th place is Steve Abbott and Sean Smith. The outfit in view at the moment. So Klaffenbach doesn't seem to have a response. We are the race leader. Confirmation of whereabouts we are in the race at this moment after 13 laps. We're going to take a short break now. We'll be back very soon. As we come back to the Sidecar 91 Grand Prix at Le Mans. That's Egbert Stroyer, outfit number 2, struggling for grip. At the back of the midfield pack. Well, certainly his passenger is doing all he can to get his driver as much grip as possible. Well, it's all happening there at the moment for that 6th, 7th place. Stroyer is looking to try and get past outfit 12, Bornhorst and Hiller. 4 laps to go, our caption says, and it's correct. And the fight is on. Egbert Stroyer looks for the inside line along the start and finish straight into the end of pit lane. He does drive just for a bit more track and moves through. Next man in his sights is outfit 6, Steve Abbott and Sean Smith. They're coming up on the outfit 23 of Costa and Egley. They're about to be well and truly lapped. Bit of weaving going on here, and he took his opportunity there, didn't he, Stroyer? There's a problem. So Steve Abbott and Sean Smith retire dramatically right in the middle there of all the action. They were within a cigarette paper of a collision. 12, Bornhorst and Hiller trying to make capital of all that melee. 9 there is Kumano and Rosinger. But this man, Klaffenbach, well, there we see it again. The slowing, Steve Abbott and Sean Smith. Oh, and that was so close. Stroyer forces his way down the inside as Sean Smith sticks his hand in the air to say, we're going to take no further part in this. Thank you very much. So, Stroyer moves up. Well, the positions are certainly sorting themselves out now in the closing stages of this Sidecar Grand Prix. But still, at the front of the field is Rolf Bieland from Elaine Michel and Simon Birchall from Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. But look at this. Egbert Stroyer, outfit 2. 3 laps to go. And that looked like some debris they were running over there. First of all, I thought it was a tyre they had going. That certainly looked like some major trouble that they had there. 5, that's the Goodall brothers. The BP Goodall bike. Currently in 4th place. No longer threatening 3rd place man, Steve Webster, which I'm sure that both him and Gavin Simmons will be well pleased about. So almost just 2 laps to go now. Bieland, a long, long way in front of these men in 4th place. Bieland, your race leader, Elaine Michel in 2nd place. Still, Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons in 3rd. Oh, it must be nail-biting time indeed for Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. Such a short distance to go to confirm them as world champions of 1991 sidecars. There is race leader Rolf Bieland and Kurt Waldisberg in the ADM LCR outfit. A superb, flawless drive, but an equally superb and flawless drive from outfit 1, Elaine Michel. Absolutely hanging in there in 2nd place, but he had his chance to do something with this man, Bieland, and really didn't manage to hold on to it. So I've got to question whether it's going to be possible for Elaine Michel, barring any problem with this man's bike, to get on terms with 1st place man Bieland. It's just not possible. Webster is in a very comfortable 3rd place. There's the distance between Bieland and Michel. You can see it there on screen. Bieland grabbing another gear through the double right. Tyre smoking. That's also the exhaust fumes coming out from the back of the outfit there. Down 3 gears to 3rd gear. Through the S's. Along the back of the pits. Rolf Bieland, race leader, doing all he can to maximise his point scoring. But it'll be all in vain if Steve Webster stays where he is. So on to the start and finish straight. Just one more time to go. Elaine Michel hanging on in 2nd place. Webster still 3rd. 4th are the Goodall brothers. Dernier Tour, last lap. Well, certainly Bieland has proved that he is an absolute force to be reckoned with, if not the ultimate force to be reckoned with in the last 4 or 5 Grand Prix. He has been the fastest man out on the track, bar none. If he could have started the season with the consistency he found towards the end of the season, I think it's undoubted that he would be world champion. But, of course, world championships are all about consistency throughout the year as well as race wins. And Bieland was lacking that at the beginning of the year. Unlike Webster, who won the first 5 Grand Prix that he finished in out of the 6 first Grand Prix. So, consistency indeed for Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons at the beginning of the series, and at the end of the series, this man, Kurt Waldisberg, his passenger, and Rolf Bieland, the driver, winning everything in their sight. But they're not going to win the World Championship, even though they are leading this race. Steve Webster will have that honour, providing he can make it round this very last lap that they're on now. A flawless drive from Rolf Bieland and Kurt Waldisberg, his passenger. Waldisberg hanging over the back of the outfit. There we get a glimpse back. So then, Rolf Bieland wins the 91 Le Mans Grand Prix from Alain Michel in second place with Simon Birchall, his passenger. We look now for outfit 3, Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. A long, long wait. This is making everybody sweat here. I think cameras switch, so we're not going to see just yet who comes across the line in third place. And of course it's crucial, and that's it. And you can see from the action there from Gavin Simmons, the passenger, absolutely ecstatic. They are the new world champions. So Webster regains his world championship. Through come the Goodles for 4th place. 5th was Egbert Stroyer. But this crew are the new 1991 world sidecar champions. And if ever it belonged to a more deserving cause, I've never seen it. The Silkaline LCR outfit, Avon tired. Outfit number 3 there of Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons. You can see the cord connected to his wrist, just in case he gets thrown out, it cuts the motor off. Confirmation then, Webster, 181 points from Bieland's 168, from Stroyer's 134, from Michel's 129. Bornhorst on 108 and Goodle on 107. Well, the championship positions then are Webster wins the series from Bieland in second place, from Stroyer in third place, from Alain Michel, who finishes 4th in the series this year. 5th are the Goodle brothers. They finish in 5th place. Bornhorst and Hiller finish in 6th. So, while the British flag is hoisted over Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons' bike, they do a tour of honour. They look ecstatic, and quite rightly so. And on the podium for the national anthems. Well, from me, Keith Ewan, we're going to leave you from the Le Mans Sidecar Grand Prix with Steve Webster and Gavin Simmons laughing their way through their podium positions. From us, it's goodbye.